Hi there and welcome along to another Time to Shine RowAlong workout. We're going to follow the same format we've been doing so far, which is a 30-minute session made up of a 4-minute warm-up straight into a 22-minute workout and then a 2-minute cool down on the end. So let's get into that 4-minute warm-up, but first we have to set up our machines. Go to your resistance first, which for me on this Averon, I'm setting mine to 10, which gives me a nice feeling from the stroke, but I don't have to heave against it in order to get the thing moving. If you're on a Concept 2, I recommend a drag factor round about 130. Next up, let's go to the foot stretcher height. How high your feet sit on the foot plates. And what you're looking for is a height where you're able to come into the front of the machine with your shins pointing vertically, comfortably. If you're set too high, it's quite difficult to get there and your heels come right off the foot plate. If you're set too low, then you can go scooting straight past that. Your backside escapes from underneath you. You lose power, less effective workout. Who wants that? A good ballpark here is that the foot strap should cover the balls of your feet, okay? If you find that it's on the arches of your feet, you're set too high up, okay? So that's a good tip. This is a good place to start from, and then you can adjust from there, all right? It's always about your own comfort. Don't listen to me. So let's get into that 4-minute warm-up. I'm going to do this at a nice low intensity if this is the first thing you've done today, or you can kind of hit the ground running a little bit harder if you've already been working out, okay? Let's get ready to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Now you're still looking for a low intensity, even if you were in the gym working out before this row, maybe this is at the end of your day, you still want to keep this warm up at a nice low intensity. So we're still going to do this at 20 strokes a minute. And anybody who has, like me, just clambered on to the machine, bleary-eyed first thing in the morning, then you want to build your body into this. You want to let your body know that it's about to do some exercise. Get things moving. Think about the power surging through your body, so that your muscles start to fire. You're putting in a little bit of effort here. It's not about just sliding up and down with no force, but at the same time, this is a warm-up. So just ease into it. We're going to do 2 minutes at this intensity. Then do some drills to make sure your body is properly opened up and you're hitting the right body angles. And then we'll get into our main workout. And today's workout, all we're going to do is alternate 20 strokes a minute, low intensity for 1 minute, with 24 strokes a minute at a medium intensity for 1 minute. Now, how you hit that medium intensity is up to you. You can just let the pace rise naturally, or if you want a tougher workout, you can push it harder. But I'll talk to you about that during the main session. Because in 2 strokes time, I'm going to take 1 foot out of the straps and put it on the floor. You don't have to join me here, you can carry on rowing with both feet in, but by taking 1 foot out, it makes it easier to get into that full compression into the front of the machine, shin vertical, heel still close to the foot straps, forwards tilt over my hips, arms straight, and a push from that leg that's strapped in. Let's change feet. Mess around with the straps, waste some time, and just do the same thing with the other leg. So try and slide forwards until that shin's vertical. You can pivot onto your toes on the foot that's on the ground, and then onto your heel at the back. That should help from a stability point of view. Let's take 2 more of these, and then we're going to put both feet back in the straps, legs straight, and row with your back and arms. So you pick up the power with your back swing first, and then you pull in your arms. Okay, so swing, pull, release your arms, rock forwards again. This rocking, hinging motion of your hips is really important when rowing. Adds power, uses your core. Very effective. Okay, let's roll into the front, straight arms, forwards tilt, and then just press out with your feet. And I say press for good reason, okay? We're not pushing hard here. All we're doing is trying to work on feet connecting to the machine. At the same time, the handle connects to the machine with straight arms and that forwards tilt. We'll do 2 more of these and then we'll get started with our main session. 20 strokes a minute, low intensity. You ready? Go. Right, 20 strokes a minute is 1 stroke every 3 seconds. You can follow me for stroke rate if you're unsure about holding your rate. And you'll see that I'm doing 1 second drive, 2 seconds recovery. I'll break down exactly how that stroke works when we return to 20 again. Because remember, this is quite a quick turnaround. It's only 1 minute at this rate, and then we go up to 24. Make sure to keep these 20 strokes a minute sections at an intensity where you know you're exercising, but it's not hard. That's what we're doing next after this stroke. What I want you to do is push harder with your feet. So you push harder. That should give you a faster drive speed, whoosh, to the back of the machine. And then if you couple that with a slightly faster recovery, that's how you knock off that half a second to take your stroke rate up from 20 to 24. Which is kind of why, listen, one of the reasons that this series is made up of 20, 24 and 30 is because it's easier to count on the timer. Just follow the timer to hold your rate. What, I've got 3 more of these, then we're back down again. Whew. Okay, back down to 20 strokes a minute. And I can consider those first 2 minutes almost like an extended warm-up. We should now kind of hit a natural flow in terms of intensity. What I want is just you to start thinking about how much of a push helps you drive for 1 second here. So you just drive 1 second, and that should be enough to keep this low intensity, but still feel like you're putting in some exercise. Kind of like the same intensity as if you were walking up 10 flights of stairs. But after this stroke, go back up to 24 again. These do come thick and fast, and I can almost guarantee I'll miss at least one of them, and you'll hear me kind of hastily going, oh, quick, quick, quick. But, and what I want you to do is look at the pace you're rowing at right now. So maybe you've decided to really push this one hard, and you're going a lot faster than the 20 strokes a minute. Or maybe you're just letting it be a natural flow from your body. But keep an eye on your pace, because you want to return to that each time. One more. And we're back down to 20 strokes a minute. So I'm changing between 159 at these 20 strokes a minute to 152 for the 24s. So that's why I want to maintain
through all 11 cycles as we go through this workout. Remember, 22 minutes, so that's 11 times through. Ooh. And it should, as a result, give you a great workout. 2 more here. 1 more. Here we go, back up to 24. As long as when you hit these 24 strokes a minute sections, you are making sure to push harder, whether it's the 6 or 7 second difference that I'm seeing, or maybe you're pushing harder and seeing 10, 12 second difference. This change in intensity is fantastic for your body. Possibly your heart rate is climbing and falling as you go through each of these intervals, and that's really good training for your heart. 1 more stroke, back down to 20. And as you go through this workout, you'll probably naturally find you'll need to push or concentrate more, let's say, each time you hit the 24 strokes a minute. You'll just have to think, all right, hold your pace, hold your pace. But just as important is that when you come down to these 20s, you don't ease off too much. This interval is just as important. It's like you're working within a bracket of intensity, and you don't want to fall out of either end. 1 more here, and back up we go. 24. So I mean, listen, that's 11 minutes, including the warm-up. But maybe you're the kind of person who just jumps on the machine, sets it to just row or metrics monitor, or puts on one of the games on the Aviron, doesn't really think about how you're rowing, and then 10 minutes later walks off feeling kind of like, what did I just do? How did my body respond to that? Whereas a workout like this gives it the focus. It's much better for you. Last one here, back down to 20s. Just having a focus is incredibly effective. Making sure to hold these paces and stroke rates is much better than aimlessly moving up and down on the rail. And because we are rowing that little bit longer for 22 minutes, we're thinking about intensity. It's going to really help boost your fitness, your rowing ability, and your strength as a result. 2 more strokes. 1 more. And back up to 24. Push harder with your legs. But the truth is, as much as I just said about it will help your strength and power, that's only if you are rowing with something coming close to good technique. And that means Arms straight as you come into the catch, a forwards tilt, and then holding arms straight and forwards tilt as you push your legs in order to generate the power from your legs first through a braced core and then using your back and arms. Last one here, back to 20s. That's 5 rounds done. But yeah, if you are pulling early from the front, you are disengaging your core and your legs from the front of the stroke. Or if you open your hips and swing back too soon, you will put all of the force through your lower back instead of through your posterior chain, through your body and core into your arms. 3 more here. 1 more, then we're back up to 24. Because maybe you chose rowing today because it's commonly said, what phrase am I looking for? It's commonly said, there we go, that rowing will use around 85% of your muscles. That's only true if you're in that forwards tilt, arms straight, and push with your legs position. If you pull early, you lose a lot of muscle power from your legs. If you open your back early, you lose your core. 2 more here. Back to 20 strokes a minute. Anyway, listen, I could bang on about technique. I do bang on about technique. But just those simple guidelines of arms straight, forwards tilt, push legs will make you much more effective in your workouts than most people. And then you can get into the finer things. But just think about arms straight, forwards tilt, push legs. Only pull at the back of the machine. Oh. 1 more. Then we're back up to 24. Here we go. Because my whole thing has always been that I want you to get a good, effective workout. Whether that's because you are changing your technique based on what I'm talking about, or whether it's because you are rowing for longer than you might otherwise. I'm here just to try and make it so that you are not wasting your time. After all, if you've only got this 30-minute block of your day for your workout, you want to make it as effective as possible. Last one here, back to 20 strokes a minute. Maybe you've only got 30 minutes in your day. Maybe you just have so many competing priorities that you can only steal this short amount of time. So it's important that it works right for you. And that's where this whole idea of you get out what you put in. If you want today's workout to be a really hard one, then maybe for the rest of this row, increase your pace for the 24 strokes per minute sections. Or maybe you just want it to be just a sweaty workout, not too tough. Okay, here we go, 24s again. Like, this is what I'd call hard, but not maximum. So it's starting to get to a point now where I can feel my legs are starting to fatigue from the effort, but I know I could keep this pace up for a lot longer, but I'm leaning on the effectiveness of this intensity followed by the low intensity in terms of my base fitness, that I don't need to turn this into a max killer workout. Not for me anyway. One more here. And back down to 20s. But that's not to say I couldn't come back tomorrow, put this same workout on, and then go max intensity on these 24s. It's a useful workout that way. It kind of sits in its own little world where, I mean, there's the workout I did that was 20 strokes a minute, easy, 20 strokes a minute, max. There's kind of only one way to row that. And there will be a 20, 30 at one point. And again, there's kind of only one way to row that. But this one, the 24s, it's up to you. What do you want? Okay, let's go up to those 24s again. Because I'm doing this, I basically wake up, get ready, and then head out here to do this half-hour row as a way to start my day. So that's why I'm picking the kind of middle intensity, not the max intensity for this session, because I still have the rest of my day ahead. I still have a training session at lunchtime and then weights in the evening. So there's no point me absolutely mashing this one. Last one here, back down to 20. Like I could sprint this one, but then everything ahead of me would be compromised. And certainly what I don't want to do is exhaust myself. And then as I start work, start to feel drowsy and sleepy because I've exhausted myself first thing. But if I was doing this last, say like 7 o'clock at night, I would go max intensity. The last session of the day, tire myself out, ready for bed, get a good night's sleep, which we all know is important. Easier said than done though. All these things that say, make sure to get 8 hours sleep. Sometimes your body doesn't want to. Okay, back up to 24. Like today, I got to sleep last night about 11:30, and then I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning, completely wide awake. And I was like, hang on, got another hour to go. But body was like, just because your alarm clock says that Doesn't mean I'm going to do it. I don't seem to be suffering right now from it. Don't want to make a regular habit of only getting 6.5 hours sleep, but sometimes my body just has other plans. All right, coming up for our last 20 strokes a minute section. You ready? Back down to 20s. Ease off that push. Try to still maintain the pace you've been rowing at. I've actually lost concentration a little bit, and I'm kind of 156, 157 for these 20s. Because sometimes that natural power at a stroke rate is a little bit faster than you're holding it to be. That's why sometimes I cover the monitor and I'll just row at 20 or 24 and let my body take over. I turn off the targeting computer and use the force. All right, 2 more, and then we'll do our last 24s. Because it's what I like about doing this first thing in the morning is it does set me up for the rest of the day, especially because my day job, I sit at a desk all day long, and although it's a standing desk so I can stand up, it's still not the same as properly being active. So starting the day off this way is very important, followed by lunchtime maneuvers in the gym, whether that's high rocks training or rowing or running or bike, ski erg, and then evening weights. It's a lot of training, but it offsets the desk job. Last one here. There we go. 22 minutes done, and a variety of random chat from me. So let's get into that 2-minute cool down. Have a drink quickly before we get into it if you need to. We're just gonna do this at low intensity just to shake our bodies off, okay? So in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Don't worry if you were still swigging your water or sports drink at that point. And you're like, oh, I'm not ready. You can lose 15 seconds off the cool down or just continue. I'll spend 15 seconds saying goodbye after all. So remember, if you do have a few minutes left, if it's not just a tight 30 minutes you've got, do spend some time stretching. Find hamstrings are really easy to sneak up on you, getting tighter and tighter without you realizing. It's not until you try and bend over to tie your shoelace one day that you realize, hang on, what's going wrong with the hamstrings? And it just triggers so many other problems. Like I've got chronic, is it chronic, is that the right phrase? I think it's chronic, Achilles tendonitis. And weirdly, the more I stretch my hamstrings, the less my Achilles flares up. I don't think, well, possibly they're directly related, but I think it's more to do with just the flexibility of how I walk and stuff. Again, the hamstring thing for me will be because of sitting at a desk for 10 hours a day. So watch that. I mean, this is why exercise is so good. It's also why standing desks are good, because rather than having your legs tucked underneath you, you're at least standing up. Okay, one more stroke from me, just to round off that 2 minutes. Oh, and we're all done with today's session. So thank you very much for joining me for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got what I was saying about how you can alter that 20-24, the power you put into the 24, in order to completely transform this workout into something else. So you can come back and do this one again, try going faster or easier depending on how you did that. So thanks again, it's great to have you here. Make sure and check out the other workouts that I've got up here. There's loads of them, you hopefully enjoy them. And I will see you in one of them. Until the next time, please row well, be well, bye bye.